happen.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, there he is finally. You know, we're getting the inside of his nose right now. We're all over the place, but he's straightening it out. It's none other than Michael Sugarbomb Claycomb. Get that shirt in the picture, man, because that is an absolutely beautiful, creative logo that you've created for yourself. A wonderful nickname. Something I'm very excited about, man. I love the way you're building your brand. I love the way you and Joseph do that. And I'm excited to have you on, man. I'm really glad we figured this out.
I'm happy too. I was scared for a second. I was like,
but I kept them at bay. I kept everybody at bay. I did my best.
It was like my one time on the red carpet.
So Michael Claycomb, ladies and gentlemen, and Michael, you know, very excited to have you on. You know, for those that know and for those that don't know, you've had like 4 fights with us now in the last year. Am I right?
Yep, the best fights.
And they've been incredible fights. Your past performance was incredible. We'll get into that as well, and we'll get into your upcoming performance, which is major. And there's a major announcement related to that. We're going to make that right here on the podcast. But first and foremost, how are you, Michael? How is the Sugarbomb? How is he?
Oh man, I'm doing amazing. First of all, I just want to say thank you to you for having me on the podcast. I am so thrilled to be here. It's such an honor. So thank you for that. I'm doing amazing. I've been enjoying the past, 2.5, 3 weeks. I'm starting to get back into more regular training again. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah. Well, you look great. I love the smile. You're looking happy. You're looking good. You know, I know there was a while there during the pandemic you couldn't get any fights. You were being a little bit hard on yourself, is what I heard.
Yeah.
I'm assuming things have shifted to a better place.
Yeah. Pandemic came. I was supposed to fight, and then pandemic just wiped it out, and it was probably one of the most difficult times for me, just emotionally and mentally, because you prepare for a fight so many times, and then it gets canceled, and it wasn't good. But thankfully everything's cleared up now, and I've been able to fight 4 times for FightersRep, and yeah, last year was crazy with all that. So.
And my goodness, what a great 4 fights it has been. Now I can hear a little bit in the background. It sounds like some students are putting in some work. For those that don't know, give them a little bit of a summary about Michael Claycomb Karate Academy. Let them know what you do, brother.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, I am a Shotokan karate practitioner, and I'm here at my dojo, or my father's dojo, or our dojo, however you want to say it, Claycomb Karate out in Fontana. We teach traditional Shotokan. So right now is the adult class. Usually I train in this class with my father, and then I teach the kids classes before this. So right before this podcast, I was teaching my tweens, I guess you can say. But yeah, I've been doing this since I was 4 years old. I've been teaching since I was like 10, 11, 22 now, and this is my life. This is what I do. This is what I'm going to be doing for probably ever. I don't see myself doing anything but this. So this is my house, this is my home.
And, it's amazing to, at, such a young age, kind of already know what the trajectory is, know what you're doing, and I got to give a lot of credit to Joseph Claycomb for bringing you down that path and showing you at least what he thinks is the right path for you. Now, I would imagine, dedicating your life to karate and the dojo and the fight game is also your choice, right? Because you can't really being a father, I don't feel like I could really force my kids to do anything at this point. Do you feel like this is kind of your destiny? This is your path? You're very happy with your whole life being dedicated to karate and the fight game and everything else?
It's funny you mentioned that. In the beginning, as I was as a kid growing up, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I was forced to come to the dojo.
Tell me, I want to know.
Oh man, dude, I hated it. I had to be dragged by my ear. But no, definitely, this was my choice, and I'm so happy that I'm doing this and not doing something else. and I didn't learn to appreciate it until I was older, of course. So as a kid, like I said, I was forced. But I mean, you don't really know what's best for you when you're a kid, right? Yeah.
And there he is, the mastermind over there behind Claycomb Karate Academy, Joseph Claycomb. So Sugarbomb, man, first let's get into your last performance, man. You were coming off a draw
Yeah.
at FightersRep 14, and you wanted blood at FightersRep 15, man. I mean, you just wanted this from what I can see, right? You're going to tell me your version. I'm giving you mine first. You look like a man. You look like a man possessed. You look like you wanted blood. When I watched, obviously I got to watch it in person. There's nothing like watching it in person, right? But when I saw the live stream, seeing the camera slowly zoom in before the bell rings and watching you kind of do this and stand there, I said to myself, holy cow, this guy is really focused. And you looked very focused walking into the ring. You were facing a talented guy in Albert Tadeo, man. He's a talented kid. He's a tough kid. He was coming off a win. He's got some really good hands, and and you didn't give him a chance, really. I mean, your performance was just so efficient, as Chris Cully said on the broadcast. You just didn't give him a chance to even get started. Within 10 or 11 seconds, you landed an absolutely surgical spinning back kick to the liver. You ended that fight. I mean, you gotta take me through that. I mean, that was just incredible. And then you tried holding your emotions in after the fight, with the victory, but then I saw you just explode when the audience was just going crazy. Tell me what was going on through the mind of the Sugarbomb when all of that happened.
Okay, so I'll explain this going into the fight first, because there's a lot that went into this. As you said, I had a draw, and that was the most devastating thing. I was so upset, not just because of the decision or how it went, but also just with myself. And coming into this fight, it was a make it or break it type of fight for me. Like, it was very pivotal, like, because my whole thing that I've been struggling with is going in there and wanting to fight. I felt like my first three performances were not as, I wasn't in the right mindset that I needed to be. And so for this fight, it was all about going to that mindset of like, you're going to go in there and you're going to go knock somebody out. You're going to go hurt somebody. You're not going to try and make sure they're okay. You're not going to try and do whatever. I mean, of course, after the fight, there's respect and sportsmanship.
Yeah.
But going in there without worrying about, oh, is he going to be okay? Like, no, you're going to go knock him out. As well as being okay with, you might get hurt yourself, like that warrior mentality of, I'm accepting death,
Yeah.
So for me,
and that's
like,
something that's something I heard from your dad that kind of freaked me out. So kind of take me.
To tell you, man.
Yeah. Gotta kind of help me out with that one. Extrapolate on that one a little bit, because that one's kind of driving me a little crazy.
So right. So going into this, it was me telling myself, this isn't just a sport. This isn't just a competition. Like, this is life or death. And I had to take it to that level. And I feel like for once I did. But to get there, throughout training camp, throughout all the sparring that I did, Rage, Raymond, and of course my father, they were all trying to prep me to get to that. And It's funny because going into the fight, you feel the pressure and you're like, stay calm, like you'll be good. And every time I would do that, it never worked. I'd always try to tell myself, like, stay calm. And it just never, like, my anxiety would. So to counter that, what I would tell myself was, like, you're not going to be okay. You're going to go out there, you're going to go die.
Wow.
You're going to go and hurt somebody. You might get hurt. You might die. Whatever. Like, that was what I was telling myself. And for some reason, I don't know why, that was what calmed me down. That was what made me like, okay, like, I'm accepting death to the fullest potential, and that gave me all the confidence to go out there with no fear,
Yeah. And is that, was that a first for you that you did that in this fight?
First time I ever, it was so weird going into the, like, once the bell rang, everything just like felt slow motion. Like everything going into the once the bell rang, nothing was on my mind, no anxiety. It was just literally like kill, like just go out there and go knock him out.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I felt like I was ready to like. Man, I'm glad that someone stopped me, because I felt like I was ready to just go on this monstrous spree of knocking people out.
Oh,
I felt like a
my
samurai,
God.
you know. And yeah, going in, I didn't think of anything. All the little things that you could have said were spectacular about what I did, I didn't think of it. It just came. It was just kill. That was all that was on my mind. Just annihilate, destroy.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And where would you say that shift in mentality came from? You know, is it just the evolution of Michael Claycomb? Is it, now I would imagine it's a little bit of a coaching from Coach Rage and also from your father trying to ingrain that warrior mentality into you. I mean, what do you think brought you to that mentality for this fight in particular?
Both an evolution of myself, but I don't think I would have, like, I didn't realize I needed that mindset until Coach Rage and my father brought it out to me. And it wasn't until then that I realized, like, oh, you know, I need to take this more serious, like it's life or death.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was almost a barrier that was in front of me, was because I wasn't able to tap into that mindset for the previous fights, that going into this fight, like I said, you know, like that make it or break it, like it was a true test to myself whether I can do this or not. And they were heavily influencing me on, you know, throughout the training camp, like, you need to go in there with this mentality, you need to do this, make sure that, because it's not just a fight, it's not just the competition, like this is life or death, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, you know, that performance, I mean, besides from a sporting perspective, right? As an objective observer, as a fight fan, right? Which is what I
Yeah.
am. I mean, I'm the promoter, but I'm sitting there ringside and my eyes are glued on you guys, right?
Yeah.
So from a sporting perspective, I mean, that was just an incredible performance. But from you know, if I were not a fight fan and I didn't know this was a sport, I mean, that was a borderline terrifying. That was a borderline terrifying performance. How efficient and an executioner you were. You were like an executioner out there, man. I mean,
Thank
that's, yeah. That it said thank you, but you know, I said to I told your dad, I was like, my God, this guy, he was an assassin at the last show. You know.
Yeah, one of the things that Raymond told me, he told me, he was like, you know, preparing for all this, he was like, you need to try and scare yourself. And I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, he was like, yeah, you need to like stare yourself and scare yourself. If you can do that, then you're on the right track. And this was months before the fight, right? Like right when training camp started. And I wasn't able to do it until the week before the fight.
Wow.
I'm going to the bathroom, and I was thinking about the mentality, and I was like, let me try and scare myself. And I just stared at myself in the mirror, like dead straight for like 20 minutes. And I scared the living like Jesus out of myself. I was like, what the heck? And even when I go back and watch the tape, that moment where it zooms in and you can see me like whatever focused,
Yeah.
like I get jitters when I look at myself. I'm like, oh my God, like that was really me. Like sometimes it doesn't feel like it really was, you know?
Yeah. And I
It's
just
a real feeling.
I felt like the broadcast, you know, just it really captured, obviously with the slow motion replays too. I mean, it really captured the essence of what you were feeling.
Yeah.
Um tell me how it felt, how you felt in the fight and when you landed that kick. I mean, what was going through your mind when you landed that?
So when I was in the actual fight, like I said, everything felt slow-mo. Once I started attacking him, I instantly noticed his hands were just popping up because I kept trying to punch him in the head. And that last sequence where I sidestepped, cross hook, when I saw his hands go up, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. And I gave him a little nudge, and I'm not gonna say I knew, but like I had that feeling of like, if I knew if I'm gonna push him, then he's gonna step up right into the kick, and I went for it. I didn't even feel the kick land, to be honest. I thought I hit his arm because it felt like I hit his arm, and then I saw him go down, and as I saw him go down, I was kind of like upset because in the corner, like you see me do our salute. I'll explain that in a minute too. But I'm standing there, and in my head, I'm like, "Get up, dude!" Like, I'm like, I did not just spend like 2 months like torturing myself for 12 seconds.
Okay,
I was like, "Get up!" I was like, "Get up!"
Michael, I really apologize. I lost you for like 12 seconds. So
Oh, no worries, no worries.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what part do I need to say?
So you're gonna probably have to start over from when you nudged him. You mentioned you hit him with a couple punches. I think you said hook cross or cross hook, and then you nudged him. And then after that,
I cut off. Okay, so yeah, so I did the cross hook. I nudged him, thinking he was gonna step up as I pushed him into the kick, and which is what happened. So I just threw it, and I didn't feel like I hit his liver. I felt like I hit his arm, but then I saw him go down, and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck?" And as I'm going back to the corner, I do my salute thing, which I'll explain later, I guess. But as I'm doing it, I'm standing there, and I'm like pissed. I'm like, "Dude, get up!"
oh my god!
I'm like, I'm like, "Get up, dude! I did not just spend 2 months torturing myself." I was like, "Get up, dude!" Like,
Dude, who have they turned you into, man? What have they turned you into?
Yeah, I was mad. I was like, "Come on, man!" Like, but as I was watching him on the floor, it kind of felt like I just saw his like soul like just leave. It was so weird. Like everything was still slow motion, but I just saw like this. I guess you can say his spirit or his soul or something. Like, he just left. And that's when I was like, what? It felt so weird. It just felt weird. I don't know how to describe it. It gave me chills almost. Yeah.
And I mean, you went back to your corner, but he was in a lot of pain. I mean, you could see it on the ground, and I'll be honest, I was worried. I was worried. I was worried you broke his ribs. I mean, I didn't know what happened because he was just writhing around in tremendous pain on the floor. I mean, what was kind of, and then you did your thing. You could tell me about that. What was that? What was that you did there before you went into your celebration because you couldn't help yourself because the crowd was going berserk.
Yeah, so that's our salute that we have at the dojo that we do with Rage and Raymond and my father. So the salute is it started with Rage. So before me and Rage and we all came together, Rage had a salute that he did with the IR group, the IR division, and it was a knife salute. So in sign language, this is R, and this is I. So when you pronounce it, it's IR, even though it's EYR, right? So the knife salute is you come up, and then you come across, and then I don't know if you can see, but you fan out.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And in karate, we have a thing called yoi, or ready stance, where it's you're ready mentally, emotionally, spiritually to go out and do what you got to do, right? So we combined it. So the regular yoi is just this: you come down and you have fists. So we did 1, 2, and then here, and one hand is the salute, and one hand is a fist. Of course, in the gloves, it just looks like 2 fists.
Right.
But in spirit, like that's what it is, and that's like I'm ready. I'm ready to go out and die. I'm ready to go out and kill or annihilate, whatever you want to use that word, whatever it is. You're spiritually just ready,
My goodness.
But I couldn't hold it after. I was so pumped that I screamed. Like I had so many emotions built up, so I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I just saw the sugar, what are they, the bomb squad, just going like this in the audience, everybody jumping up and down. And then your dad, I just see your dad turn around and go like this, as hugging everybody, so freaking wow, man, that was just a fantastic performance. One of, I was telling Raymond in his interview, you and Raymond had a real like highlight that evening, you with that performance and Raymond with that tremendous left hand he landed in his fight that kind of ended his fight. You've got you guys have something really interesting and effective and amazing going on over there at Claycomb Karate between your father and Rage and you and Raymond. And now, I know you guys have recruited another person onto the team. It looks like Dylan Ludwig is going to be, competing
I'm hoping.
representing
I'm hoping.
for Ire and Claycomb Karate. So I hope we get to have him as well. And just
Me too.
tell me how it feels, because it's not every day you see a karate dojo, sending fighters to a kickboxing promotion that are executing in the fashion that you guys are. How does it feel to be in this position right now?
I mean, there are pressures that come with it, right? Just within yourself, you kind of like, man, like you're the only karate dojo. But honestly, it is probably the most exciting thing, knowing that you're the only karate anything doing kickboxing, and it's almost it's not almost, it is an honor. It's like the biggest honor, if anything, because you get to represent a whole style, and everything's riding on you at that point, right? I guess you can say there's pressures, like I said earlier, but for me, I look at it as it's more of an honor. I think it's exciting because, I mean, there's just that thrill of, well, everything's riding on you, and everyone's gonna judge you or not judge you based on how you do in the ring. So I look at it as a challenge, but in an exciting type of way. Um, it is also kind of sad that there aren't more dojos doing this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
hopefully, hopefully by doing this, we inspire more and more people to step into the lines. Then can't be the only one representing.
I would love that. I would love that. And by the way, anybody, if you guys have any questions for Michael or myself in the chat, feel free to drop it in the chat. We got Fight Life Nation saying he's glad we didn't give up at the beginning of the stream. Slide Tendencies is in here. It says, "Hey, Fighters Rep, what's up, guys?" And Slider X says, "Us from Combat Karate." I think that's that dojo out there in Long Beach. So big shout out to them. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. Also, if this is your first time watching and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We're constantly putting out content, interviewing amazing fighters like Michael Claycomb. And also be sure not only to follow us on Instagram, but follow Michael on Instagram at michaelclaycomb.mma. Now, I got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed in that Instagram handle, but I'm just going to keep letting it slide because I like you, Michael.
It's funny because I've been wanting to change it. I've been thinking about it. I think I might. I don't know. We'll see.
.MMA. By the way, guys, he's got 4 kickboxing bouts and no MMA fights, but it's still michaelclaycomb.mma. Listen, it's a bit of a slap in the face, but I'm so scared of you after your last performance that I'm not going to bring it up again.
I'm going to put .FightersRep.
No, I'm just playing. I know the trajectory at first, right, was MMA, and now things have kind of,
things have changed.
Things have changed. So yeah, we forgive you for it. And besides following Michael, it's at this time that I'd like to make a pretty big announcement. Right, we're gonna make a big announcement.
You gotta do a drum roll.
Michael Claycomb is going to be taking on a very tough David Rivera for the FightersRep middleweight title. That's 165 pounds for all you that don't follow the IKF's, weight limits. At 165 pounds, which is middleweight for the IKF and for us, Michael Claycomb versus David Rivera, and it will be the co-main event come December 3rd at the beautiful Commerce Casino. And I got a feeling that people are going to get their money's worth with this fight, Michael. What are your thoughts on that, brother?
They're going to get treated, that's for sure. That's not going to be just their money's worth. You're all going to get special treat for what you pay for. So you better come.
Now, Michael, David Rivera is absolutely no slouch. A very dangerous opponent. You're both very dangerous, but you're both deserving at this point, right? You guys have both won a lot more than you've lost. You actually haven't lost at all. You have that one draw on your record, but you're what?
I'm sorry. What was that? I haven't lost, you said? What?
Have you lost?
No, I haven't.
You haven't lost, right? So you haven't lost. So what? You're 3-0-1, is it now?
Yeah.
3-0-1, coming off a 10 or 11-second finish, whatever it was.
I like to think it was 12, only because Raymond, his brand is 12 pounds. So for me, it's like I like to say it's 12 for Raymond.
I like that. I
That's
like
that's
that.
when he hit the mat. It was at 12 seconds, so I count that as
I like that camaraderie. I like that. And then David Rivera is also coming off of a nice finish at Fighters Rep 15 as well. What are your thoughts, if any, about David Rivera about this fight?
Well, he actually, I got to know him a good amount in the weigh-ins going into the fight because we were both complaining about the heat and we are making jokes about it. And he was asking me who I'm fighting, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fighting Albert Tadeo." He told me that he had fought him before, so I was like, "Oh, okay, like that's pretty cool." Seemed like a really chill guy. And then on the night of the fights, after we both won, we were both talking about the knockouts. We were both watching some of his teammates' fights. Trevor Blakesley.
Blakesley, yeah.
Yeah. We're watching his fight together. We were sitting there with Granado, and we're all just chatting it up. I think he's a really nice guy. Nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
For me, when it was mentioned that we were going to be going for a title, I was a little bit like, man, like I just made a connection. But I'm hoping he also understands, like, for me, it's just business. Like, business is business. There's nothing personal. I'm going to go out there and give him my best out of respect for him. I feel like if I were to not do that, it's almost like a disservice. But it is what it is. That's what we're here to do. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good fight. I feel he's definitely worthy. I'm not here to say that he's not worthy, because he totally is.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think he's going to bring a really unique style to the fight, and I think my unique style as well is going to be like super delicious for the fans to watch. So they're gonna be loving it.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I mean, a lot of these fights, gosh, they make me nervous, and this one especially makes me nervous. I mean, it's two killers, it's two finishers, it's two kids I like very much, and just like your career, Michael, which has, let's face it, been at Fighters Rep. David's has essentially been all at Fighters Rep. I think outside of one fight, he may have had one MMA fight that wasn't with us, but then the rest of his MMA fights were with us when we were doing MMA shows back, a couple years back. So it's crazy to see, us building these two guys up and then watching them compete. And at the end of the day, like you said, it's business. I mean, win or lose, I think both of you will continue to rise up the ranks, right? We don't do the manufacturing of winners here. It's kind of like Joshua Caldwell said at the last fight, right? You earn it. You earn it. So I think both of you guys have earned it, and I think this fight will make both of you guys better.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for this. Woo! Finish the year strong.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Now, let me ask you, Michael, this is going to be your fifth fight for us come December 3rd. Have you kind of figured out the trajectory yet? Will it be MMA? Are you just keeping all your options open? Do you want to, stay at Fighters Rep or turn pro at Fighters Rep? Because I am planning another pro show in February. I don't know if I've told you guys that. What's the trajectory for you? And no pressure. You know me. I just want what you guys think is the best for your career. So tell us what you think is the best for your career.
Well, I hate Fighters Rep. No, I was kidding.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
No, so in the beginning it was MMA. For me right now, I want to be in Fighters Rep. Fighters Rep. I mean, obviously I've been in Fighters Rep, so I think that's kind of like my intentions have been kind of clear since I've been in Fighters Rep, obviously. After this fight, I do want to stay with Fighters Rep. I want to grow as much as I mean, we've talked about it before, if we can have pro fights that are like big scales, then I'm down for, like I want to help grow Fighters Rep as much as Fighters Rep can help grow me. And it's kind of like, like that. We just keep climbing.
Yeah.
So I want to be part of this for as long as I can. MMA, I'm keeping the option open for MMA. Maybe sometime down the line. Karate combat, something that's on my watch out as well, because I do like, I'm a karate guy, obviously.
That would be fun. I think that would be fun for sure.
Yeah, karate combat is definitely something, but Fighters Rep's where it's at. I don't know any other kickboxing promotions that are better than Fighters Rep. So
Thank you, man. Hey, I really appreciate it, man. And
the honor is mine. The honor is mine.
and MMA is boring, so why would we want to do that? You
Yeah,
know
man,
what
they're
I
all just
mean?
cuddling. I don't
Oh man,
know.
Fight Life Nation. By the way, Marco, Fight Life Nation is in the chat. He says Dylan is such a fun and talented fighter. I can't wait to see your influence rub off on him. Is there any news related to Dylan? Will he be competing with you guys come December 3rd, or is that still kind of up in the air?
Things are still kind of in the works right now. Personally, I really hope Dylan ends up, like being with us. I think he's an amazing guy.
Yeah,
So much talent, so much potential. Got a really good head on his shoulders too, and I think that's why he clicks with us so much. Is because it's not just about how strong or how many wins or how good you are. It's also about your character and being on the same wavelength as everyone here. Like for chemistry wise, like that's a big thing, and he has
yeah,
all the things that we would kind of want as a, I guess you can say, fighter or person that can be part of the team.
yeah.
Um, Me and Raymond both feel he's a really great guy. Rage and Joseph, his father, love him. So I hope Ludwig stays with us or joins us. I guess you could say nothing but good things to say about him. So
Yeah, yeah, and then Raymond, I wanted your opinion on Raymond. I mean, that was incredible, and he,
yeah,
just like you know, four
knockout
fights,
baby.
four fights with Fighters Rep. He had one before he got to us, so maybe one more fight than you did, but same
Mhm.
trajectory as you, right? In his fifth fight, went for a Fighters Rep title and got it. Um, but what did you think? What did you think of his fight? Because I thought it was just absolutely insane, right? I mean,
Yeah, oh, it was crazy. So I was, I was watching the fight front row with all my family. First round happens, and I'm like, okay, it looks kind of even, but I was thinking Raymond was winning the first round. I was like, okay, that's a good round, but I saw some stuff that Cam was doing, and I was like, okay, this can be a problem if it isn't taken care of.
yeah,
Like for
yeah,
example, he was countering with his right hand really well, and I was like, like Raymond was being overextended on some things. And I was in my head like, but he didn't look gassed, so I was like, okay, we're good. Second
yeah,
round comes, second round comes, and Cam, like, I don't mean to say this in any bad way towards my teammate. Of course, I love you, Raymond. But like Cam won that round, and he rocked Raymond pretty well. And when I was watching it, I was scared. I'm not gonna say I wasn't, but I still had this feeling of like, now Raymond's still gonna pull it out. Like he's still gonna find a way. Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
walking back to the second, walking back to the corners after the second, I was watching Cam and I was like, he's walking a little different. Like he looks a little slow, and maybe that's just me having a weird gut feeling, but like you can see when someone's starting to their fitness is just starting to kind of decline a little bit.
Yeah,
And I was like, he looks a little winded. Like I'm curious to see how this third round is because I looked at Raymond and I was like, even though Raymond got wobbled, he was still able to, like the way he walked back, his how would you say, like body, his
yeah. His
posture,
posture. Yeah,
his posture, he would still look like kind of fresh. So I was like, okay, like we're good, like we can still do this. And then the third round, no, it's just history. What happened happened. But I was going crazy. I was like screaming. I was jumping, and I was so happy, man. I just felt like this big relief just came
yeah,
came off
yeah,
my chest.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
when that left hand landed, I mean, I got it. It's not because it's our show. I mean, but I just felt like that was like a classic moment in
Cam looked at me.
kickboxing or
Cam looked at me
something.
when he was like, "Hi." I was like, "Hi."
Man,
His
it
head went
was
like. I was like, "Whoa, what the heck?"
that was just crazy, that left hand that landed. I mean, that was a monstrous left
Yeah.
hand, and it just changed the whole trajectory of the fight. Now, what do you feel about them having a rematch? I mean, because that's going to be the main event. You're going to be the co-main event. How do you feel? How do you feel about that rematch? I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Uh, I think it's a good rematch. Um, not because of this or that. More, I think it'll be a good rematch for Raymond because going into the fight, we prepared the way we prepared, and it was great. But there was a lot of things that Raymond didn't do, or that he was supposed to do, and it was not the cleanest of fights. So I'm really looking forward to see how the adjustments are going to be made from Cam, as well as from my teammate Raymond, and to see how that's going to come out. I think Raymond's. I don't, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to Cam or Hardworks because I totally respect Cam, but I think this fight is going to be really good from Raymond. Maybe that's just me being biased from my teammate,
Yeah.
but what we saw in that fight, it was definitely Raymond fighting his heart out like always, but there was a lot of things that happened that shouldn't have happened. Not because Cam's not good or bad. It's not that. It's just a lot of things that Raymond was supposed to do. We were just, the feelings, the atmosphere, the pressure, things kind of get to you. And I think the next time we see Raymond, Cam too, of course, but I think next time we see Raymond, it's going to be like way better than what we saw this last fight. Because I mean, this fight was awesome from both sides, but I think next fight from both sides as well is going to be like elevated to the max.
What an exciting fight.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That was an exciting fight. I can't wait to see the next one. It was an exciting night of fights. I mean,
9 knockouts.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what did you feel, out there under the lights with all those people there? I mean, these shows, I mean, there's a lot of people at these shows, man. Like we packed that place out for these last couple events. That last one was massive. I mean, does that affect your performance at all? Hearing all those people scream and yell and ooh and ah, how does that make you feel?
In my first 3 fights, it got to me every single time. Like I was always nervous, always in like just an anxious ticking time bomb, like ready to explode. I was so nervous. But this last fight, going out there, I felt like it was just my show. I felt so confident. I was like, it just felt like home. Going into it, like everyone hearing the oohs, hearing the ahs, hearing the cheering, just the atmosphere. It was electric. Like it felt amazing to me this time around because I know I've been a nervous wreck the past times, but this one, perfect show, perfect audience. Just the feeling that night was different. Even before the fight, I told Rage, I was like, tonight's going to be a good night. Like something just felt amazing. I don't know what it is, but it was just electric.
And I would say, that's arguably, I mean, that's got to be one of the best nights, if not the best night in the history of your team, right? Because that was insane. I mean, how do you come away 2-0 with 2 knockouts and a belt and a 12-second finish or whatever it was? I mean, that's just incredible,
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. I couldn't have been any better, to be honest. Everything was just perfect. It was honestly like I was living in a fantasy.
One thing I wanted to comment on too was, we finally were able to tap into the big screen that they had over there. And, I thought, I mean, for me, right, it was a milestone moment because we were finally able to get that thing tapped into for the audience, for the audience to watch the replay. And I remember specifically as they're watching your replay, you hear the whole audience as the kick lands go, oh, like the whole crowd goes, oh. I mean, did you notice that? I mean, that must have felt good. That must have felt good, man.
So good. It felt amazing. I was like, yeah, that's me.
Oh my goodness.
It was awesome. I will say this. The one best feeling that I had though from this night, well, there's a couple things. So after the fight, you see me on the podcast, hug my dad, and then I go to hug Rage, and then when they announced the winner, there was a moment where I hugged my dad for a split second, and you see me on the podcast wipe my eyes because I was crying. It was such a big moment. But if there was one moment better than that, it was on the way out from the doctors. I'm going backstage to go take off my wraps, get changed, all that stuff. And Raymond's waiting there. And he, like, I run into him and he runs into me and he's like, and he just hugs me and picks me up off the floor. That was Oh man, dude, I broke down. I was best feeling of the night because Raymond knew more than anybody what I was going through for this fight. He was in the trenches with me every day, 5 days a week for 4 hours a day.
Wow, man.
We cried together. We sweat. We bleed. We basically push each other to the max. And having him like so excited and hugging me the way he did, it was the best feeling. It was a moment that I'll never forget, you know?
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah. It was magical.
that's amazing, man. Michael, man, thank you. Listen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for doing this with me, man. I'm so excited to see you on December 3rd against David Rivera. Your career has been nothing but amazing to watch. It's been amazing to see you improve so much between shows, and as a person and as a speaker and everything. You know, you've become this amazingly entertaining individual, and I look forward to continuing to promote guys like you and David and Raymond and everybody else. Tickets, ladies and gentlemen, tickets go on sale October 3rd, right? We're about 2 weeks out, less from the tickets going on sale on FightersRep.com for FightersRep 16. And FightersRep 16 goes down on December 3rd. You are not going to want to miss it. It's going to be Michael Claycomb, the Sugarbomb, versus David Rivera as the co-main event. It's going to be his teammate Raymond Martinez defending his light cruiserweight title versus Cameron Spencer, what's going to be an incredible main event. And the card is so stacked, Michael. We've already got 17 or 18 fights matched already, brother. I'm talking about the highest level, crazy quality fighters on this card. And I'm just super excited about it. Before I let you go, listen, the floor is yours. Anyone you want to thank, anything you want to say, as long as you want to take to say it, have at it.
Thank you. First thing I want to say, I'm on the card, so it's automatically stacked. You know,
that's it, baby.
One thing I did want to say was to Matador Training, to Marcos, Coach Marcos, and Albert. Nothing but respect. I was super thankful for the fight. I hope they keep training and keep going, keep their heads up, because Tadeo is a great guy. He's very respectful. So I wanted to give them my respects. I also want to give you my respects because you are everything, for inviting me here, for promoting me, supporting my dojo. So thank you. I'm Wu George.
For sure. That's what we do, man. That's what we do.
Thank you. I wanted to thank all my family and supporters that are here. Of course, my Rage and my father, as well as Raymond. They're the ones that are with me every day, going through what we go through. So I'm just blessed to have everyone that I have around me, and I'm so excited for December 3rd. I think it's going to be the best fight ever. I think it's going to be the best event. I mean, the last event was already amazing. This one's just going to be even better. So get your tickets. Better get them, or else I'm going to come after you and spin kick you in the liver.
October 3rd, they go on sale for Fighters Rep 16. That goes down on December 3rd. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms, especially Instagram at Fighters Rep, and be sure to follow Michael Claycomb at michaelclaycomb.mma. Be sure to send him DMs harassing him to change it to michaelclaycomb.fightersrep or michaelclaycomb.kickboxing at the very least, because he has 4 kickboxing fights and no MMA fights. Michael, what an absolute pleasure. I love doing this with you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sugarbomb. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And get you some Sugarbomb apparel. Get you a Sugarbomb shirt. Yeah. And get a Fighters Rep shirt in the link below. Support this thing. It's a lot of hard work, guys.
Thank you. We're
going to come out with
a shirt soon. So DM me. Let me know.
I love it. Have a good one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.